Hi, and now I will answer some questions related to the case of Starbucks. The first question is that do you think Howard Schultz view his role more from the omnipotent or from symbolic perspective? In my opinion, Howard Schultz views his role more from the symbolic view because it is evident that from the day one, he treasures relationships with his employees and feels they are critically important to the way the company is viewed by the public. And he says that we know that our people are the heart and the soul of our business. The second question is that what has made Starbucks culture what it is, and how is that culture maintained? So there are three men who loved coffee and tea who invented Starbucks, and their intention is to passionately committed to the world-class coffee and dedicated to educating its customer one-on-one about what great coffee can be. So to maintain the culture in different countries, the company's chief took a anthropological tour to get a better feel of the varying wants and needs of the coffee lovers in Europe. So that's why in Britain, the British people they drink takeaway coffee, and so Starbucks is planning for hundreds of drive-through locations there. Does Starbucks encourage the customer responsive culture and ethical culture? My answer is yes. So to encourage the customer responsive culture, Starbucks always provides a place for the people to come together and by committing to supporting financially where its stores are located. Moreover, customers are encouraged to get involved in volunteering their communities. Its partners face a situation where they're unsure to respond. They're encouraged to seek out guidance from the manager, from the partner resources representative, or even the corporate office of business ethics and compliance. Some of the specific and general environmental components that are likely to impact Starbucks is that the customers. The customers' taste change over the time. So Starbucks' philosophy is that don't just give customers what they want, what they ask for, or what they think they want, but they offer the customers more than 30 plants and new drinks annually and single origin coffees. Also, competitors are one of the environmental components that affect Starbucks because all organization has one or more competitors. So competitiveness encourages Starbucks to make more drinks related to the current trends faster and to constantly learn to fit in different cultures.
Hi everyone, my name is Như, and so for today's presentation, I'm gonna answer all the questions about management practice, part number 2. So let's start with the question number 1, that is, what types of global economic and legal political issues might Starbucks face as it does business globally? Starbucks could face different global economic and legal political issues as it does business globally, and there is a heightened amount of competition that is made by multinational companies in the battle of rising, and there are different company size that could create a problem on market share and manipulating the price and how it's set. So Starbucks try to be in service for the people, but they work their hardest to push through making a reputation based on that alone. So the issue of cost will most likely hinder the quality of the products and goods that they are able to provide customers. So there are legal and political issues that could arise from one country to next country. There may be a higher trade tax imposed on goods that cause the hindrance. So the second question will be, you are responsible for developing a global cultural awareness program for Starbucks executives who are leading the company's international expansion efforts, and describe what you think will be important for these executives to know. So in my campaign, I would believe that it could be important for the Starbucks executive to know that not every location that we will place a Starbucks store will be able to run the same. It is important to know that cultural will play a role in how certain stores function because everywhere is different. And the third question will be, using information from the case and information you pull from Starbucks website, what global attitude do you think Starbucks exhibits? Defend your choice. So the global attitude that Starbucks exhibit is the geocentric attitude because Starbucks have been focusing on trying to exploit of the environment they are posted, and they respect the culture of where they are. And next we will move to the question about pick one of the countries mentioned as an important target for Starbucks and make a bullet list of economic, political, legal, and cultural characteristics of this country. So I think China is the important target of Starbucks because of their population. And in my opinion, the bullet list of Starbucks is that first, economic characteristic, second will be political legal characteristic, and the third one, also the final one, is the cultural characteristic. So how does Starbucks manage diversity, and what is Starbucks doing to manage diversity in each of the four areas? First, customers, suppliers, partners, and finally communities. So Starbucks attempts to make the Starbucks experience to all customers and to respond to each customer's unique preference and needs. So the Starbucks Supplier Diversity Program work to provide opportunity for developing a business relationship to women and the minority-owned suppliers. And finally, Starbucks support to diversity in its local neighborhoods and the global communities through the program, and the investments depend on its ties in those areas. And the final question will be, would you classify Starbucks environment as more calm waters or white water rapids? And explain how does the company manage change in this type of environment? Well, I would classify Starbucks as white water rapids because Starbucks was under fire for failing to improve the working conditions for barista and store managers as they were facing a difficult environment. So according to one Chicago area Starbucks manager who worked for the company about 10 years. So the manager who asked not to be named, she said that she was under intense pressure to reduce payroll cost, and that her supervisor regularly asked her to employate timesheets, which means that some employees were not paid when they were owed. Then, when reached for a comment, Starbucks spokesman said that Starbucks settled a lawsuit for the undisclosed amounts, and Starbucks has vowed to do more to improve working conditions for its employees, and calling specifically on managers to give baristas more constant schedules.
Hey Sky, today I will answer some questions about the Starbucks goals. So let's start with a part-time store employee. A part-time barista has to contribute to keeping the quality and value of the drinks and food they are serving. They have to serve drinks that are just as good as the older stores around the world. That's what makes Starbucks better than everybody else because they have a high standard for what they serve. The barista has to know the right amount of milk, sugar, etc. to put in the right drink. A part-time worker in any company doesn't have any say in what the company should do to expand their global market. But the barista can help imply the image that you would see at any Starbucks around the world. With the high-quality training that the barista receives, he or she can work in any Starbucks in the world. They would just have to learn the trends and language of that particular store. The barista can help define the pop culture in the store by playing the music that the general customer would like to listen, or bring up certain issues that have happened in the neighborhoods. So the customer feel like it's the local coffee shop, and that's the feeling he wants his customer to feel. So let's move to the quality assurance technicians at the company roasting plant in Amsterdam. A technician working for the roasting plant play a huge role in the value and quality of coffee Starbucks is selling. Customers know that when they go to Starbucks, that they will get a top-of-line coffee with the finest coffee bean. The technician of the roasting plant would not have any corporate decision in the expansion of the global market, but it would be sending the coffee bean to the new store opening in the world. He or she would have no impact in helping define the society pop culture menu. What about original sales managers? Region sales managers help with the value and quality of the product because they enforce the rule upon the worker of the store to produce the best coffee they possibly can. Sales managers can help the expansion of the global markets because they are the ones selling the products. They can help with the presentation to the new markets and share their personal experience with the presenter, so the presenter have positive story to tell the new markets. How they can contribute to define society pop culture menu is the research what the new fads are, what kind of music the general public is listening to. Let's discover about the Executive Vice President of Global Supply Chain Operations. The Senior Vice President of New Market doesn't spend a lot of time focusing on customer needs, but if his or her input is needed, then we will contribute. What they would be focusing on the most is to expand the global markets. They would be thinking of new ideas and markets to attack and find out the global trends. The vice president of marketing would have a good imagination and believe in what he is selling 100%. So what about the CEO? Howard Scott, the president and CEO, evolved with customer needs, expansion into global markets, and defining society pop cultures because he is Starbucks. He lives and breathes Starbucks. He is that type of person that is involved with everything that goes on with his company. That's why he is so successful to this day. He comes up with new ideas to make his franchise that much better. That's all. Thank you for your listening.
going to talk about Starbucks case study part number 4. So the first question is what type of departmentalization is being used. The first one is retail expert. Retailing is the last stage of any economic activity where you sell the product or service to the end consumer. Number 2 is administrative. The people involved in the process or activity of running a business or organization. Number 3 is manufacturing. The process of converting any kind of material, components, or parts into finished goods that meet a customer's expectation. And the last one is sales and marketing. The activities involved in selling and promoting an organization's goods or services. The question number 2 is, it is a good idea to have a president for the US division and the international division. I think that it would be a good idea to have a president for the US division and international division. And the advantages to this is that they will have better coordination. And if they have this, they would also manage better and achieve better results. By having division of responsibilities, people will work better and would have a positive impact on the operations. But the disadvantages to this is that by having the two presidents can be a conflict with decision making if they make too many ideas, and if the two don't have the organization and the coordinate can lower the standards of Starbucks. So question number 3 is examples of the 6 organizational structural elements. So the first one is human resource management. Is the management of an organization's workforce or human resource. It is responsible for the attraction, selection, training, assessment, and rewarding of employees, while also overseeing organizational leadership and culture, and ensuring the compliance of employment and labor laws. The number 2 is financial management. The planning, directing, monitoring, organizing, and controlling of the monetary resources of an organization. Number 3 is accounts management. The account manager is a point of contact and provide customer support, upselling, technical assistance, and general relationship management. An account manager may be in charge of a number of smaller accounts or focus on a few larger accounts. Number 4 is facilities management. Is field devoted to the coordinate of space, infrastructure, people, and organizations, often associated with the administration of office blocks, arenas, schools, convention centers, shopping complexes, hospitals, and hotels. However, facilities management facilitate on a much wider range of activity rather than just business services, and they are referred to as a non-core function. The next one is sales management. The sales manager is the person responsible for leading and guiding a team of salespeople. A sales manager's tasks often include assigning sales territories, setting quotas, mentoring the members of her sales team, assigning sales training, building a sales plan, and hiring and firing salespeople. And the last one is supply sales management. The main goals within supply management are to control costs, efficiently allocate resources, and gather information to be used in strategic business decisions. Now let's move to question number 4. Considering the expense associated with having more managers, what are some reasons and why you think Starbucks decided to decrease the number of stores each district manager was responsible for, thus increasing the number of managers needed? Other than the expense, can you think of any disadvantage to the decision? I think that Starbucks decided to decrease the number of stores as it would make work more manageable, and I don't think there's any. I think there's a disadvantage to it is that the sale may decrease a little bit. So that is the end of my
Hi
presentation.
everyone, I'm Linh, and now I will continue our presentation with question 6. Starbucks has said its goal is to open 1,200 new stores globally. In addition, the company has set a financial goal of attaining total net revenue growth of 10 to 13% and earnings per share grow between 15 to 20%. How will the organizing function contribute to the accomplishment of these goals? To accomplish their missions, tasks, and responsibilities, they must plan and develop effective strategies. These plans and strategies are then used to implement the direction of the organization in growth, employee development, role in communities and in society, and products or services provided, to name a few. To help the organization in realizing these goals, effective management must plan, organize, and implement. In question 7, Starbucks has said that it wants people who are adaptive, self-motivated, passionate, and creative team players. How does the company ensure that its hiring and selection process identifies those kinds of people? Starbucks uses a variety of methods to attract potential partners. The company has an interactive and easy-to-use online career center. Job seekers who must be at least 16 years old can search and apply online for jobs in any geographic location. Starbucks also has recruiting events in various locations in Canada throughout the year, which allow job seekers to talk to recruiters and the partners face-to-face about working at Starbucks. Next, in question 8, select one of the job openings spotted on the company website. Do you think the job description and job specification for this job are adequate? Why or why not? What changes might you suggest? The job description which I would select would be System Analysis Lead, Advanced Supply Chain Planning System, Global Technology. The specifications for the job are adequate, as Starbucks has mentioned the job summary and mission very clearly. Also, they have detailed the various responsibilities such as leadership, production support, solution delivery. According to me, no changes are required, as every aspect of the job is mentioned very clearly, as well as the applicant can go through the criteria of requirements before applying for the job. Question 9. Evaluate Starbucks training efforts. What types of trainings are available? What other types of training might be necessary? And explain your choices. Starbucks offers a variety of training ranging from basic computer skills to complete resolution to management, which focus on Starbucks passion for coffee and core products. Types of training: 23 hours of initial training, 29 hours as shift supervisors, and 112 hours as assistant store manager. Question 10. Pretend that you are a local Starbucks store manager. You have 3 new hourly partners join your team. Despite the orientation you would provide these new hires, Starbucks will provide additional training and coaching to new hires as a part of their orientation. Direct employment relationship will help to ensure a great work environment.